The David Pakman Show subreddit now has nearly 32,000 of our viewers and listeners subscribed and participating, and you can propose segments for the show. You can engage with other people. Please don't troll, though. We do have moderators, and we're trying to keep the trolling down to a very, very dull roar. A few posts that I do want to signal that I found interesting. A bunch of different people posting links to articles about the 30-year-old anti-vaccine nurse who got COVID and died. And I'm glad to report on it, and a lot of people have asked me to talk about it. But the glee with which some people are saying she got what she deserved, it's really tough for me to get on board with that, because I see these people as victims. These are people who fell for anti-science, right-wing propaganda. It's hard to cheer that. And the truth is, I would rather her still be alive. And even if you don't care about this one individual, think about the greater good. We would still all be better. How many people might she have spread the virus to in eventually dying from it, even if it was based on her decision not to get vaccinated because of her beliefs? We're all better off if she gets vaccinated and doesn't get sick and doesn't risk passing it to others. So whether your motivations are moral, or societal, or for other people, or even economic, because we know of the huge economic cost. For me, I'm just not where I know some of the audience is, in a sort of like total disregard and lack of empathy for this woman. Also, as far as we know, I mean, statistically, she probably has some loved ones who did get vaccinated and did do everything right, and now they suffer as a result of her death as well. So listen, I get it. At a certain point, it's personal responsibility, and you have to decide, and we can't force anyone to understand or accept the science about vaccines. But I'm not where some people in the audience are in terms of the total disregard, lack of empathy, and sometimes almost glee about the fact that an anti-vax person died. I mean, that is the tragedy, right? That's what we're talking about. 99% of those who are now hospitalized are not vaccinated. This has a very real impact. But yes, an anti-vaccine nurse who was only 30 years old did get the virus and died. Another post related to vaccination about how the CPAC crowd over the weekend, we covered CPAC earlier in the week, the CPAC crowd cheered as vaccination rates were announced to not be that high. And this user pointing out that the Republican Party is really the pro-death party, and saying, at this point, I don't even have any long-winded explanation beyond the title. What more needs to be said? Vaccination rates aren't meeting Joe Biden's projected goals. Yay, that hurts Biden and it helps us, the Republican Party. And it means a lot more people are going to die needlessly. And so they cheer. That was one of the most disgusting moments of CPAC, cheering the fact that there are millions of people in the United States who by choice are choosing not to protect themselves and by extension, protect the people around them from coronavirus. And as I said before, I am angry at them to some degree because it's infuriating what they're doing. They also are victims of the fact that they've fallen for stuff that's not true. They've fallen for it from the Republican Party. They've fallen for it from the so-called libertarians, talking about medical freedom as if that's even remotely what this is about. They've fallen for the conspiracies. They are victims. It doesn't mean we can't be mad at them, but they are victims. And I think it's important not to forget that to some degree. Lastly, someone pointed out that what's up with David's pen? And they wrote that sometimes my hands come into the frame and I have nothing in my hands. And sometimes I've got a Sharpie in my left hand. And then sometimes I have a Sharpie in my right hand. And then sometimes it's a pen in the left hand. And then all of a sudden the pen is in my right. There is no rhyme or reason. At different points during the show, I may make a note on my extensive legal pads that I have just off screen. Sometimes I may use the Sharpie to cross something out once I've made a statement about it on the show, something I think about. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. And I apologize if it's distracting to people. Whoa, and even that noise may have been distracting to people. I am not trying to do anything other than stay on track and present to you all the information that I intend to. Join the discussion on issues ranging from importance at the bottom end about my Sharpie use all the way to the top end about people who are choosing not to get vaccinated. You can find the subreddit at davidpakman.com/Reddit.